Good morning on this clearing Monday. Thousands of dogs were checked into New York hotels over the weekend ahead of the annual Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show, which begins today. Around 600 of them, including 4-pound Chihuahuas and 300-pound Bull Mastiffs, are staying across from Madison Square Garden, where the pageantry takes place, at the Hotel Pennsylvania. This time of year, the hotel is like Vegas for dogs. There are dog fashion shows, dog parties, dog toy fairs, a dog salon and spa, and a doggy concierge who handles requests specifically from dog owners, coaches and handlers. We have it down to a science, the canine concierge, Jerry Grimek, said of the hotel, which has been hosting Westminster competitors since the 1990s. People have rituals to make their dogs feel comfortable. Mr. Grimek has rolled out a red carpet for one dog, he said, and furnished an opera singer to serenade an Italian Spinani that was fond of the music. He has picked up food, a slice of pizza, a chicken sandwich, 6 McDonald's cheeseburgers, hold the onions, and hired dog acupuncturists and psychics. The psychics informed owners that their dogs were nervous, and did not wish to eat beans. He has also fetched cots for the coaches, not the dogs get the beds. The owner wants the dog having optimal sleep, Mr. Grimek said. They're in the show, after all. Here's what else is happening: a little cooler today, but the rain is gone, and the clouds will break up by afternoon, with a high around 43. Then cold tonight and fair tomorrow. Not a bad start. The Legal Aid Society is threatening to sue if NYCHA does not return upward of $10 million in rent payments after residents were left without heat this winter. New York Times: Yoselin Ortega, who worked as a nanny for a Manhattan family, is accused of murdering 2 of the children she cared for. New York Times: Joseph Percoco, Gov. Andrew M. Cuomo's former deputy secretary often used the governor's name to further his own interests, according to testimony in his federal corruption trial. New York Times: a correction officer suffered a fractured neck when he was attacked by inmates in a Rikers Island jail. New York Times: the Olmsted Beale House in Staten Island, the one-time home of Frederick Law Olmsted, who designed Central Park, was purchased by the city but has fallen into disrepair. New York Times: New York's Attorney General filed a lawsuit against the Weinstein Company and demanded that any victims of Harvey Weinstein be justly compensated. New York Times: sleep apnea testing should be federally mandated to prevent more train derailments, Senator Chuck Schumer says. New York: more than 100 people packed into Bar Sepia in Prospect Heights to show support for the owner as she mounts a last-ditch effort to hold onto her 14-year-old business. New York Post: a 4th New York City child has died from flu-related complications, police sources said. New York Post: today's Metropolitan Diary, gorgeous for a global look at what's happening. See your morning briefing day 1 of Off-Broadway Week, with 2-for-1 tickets at dozens of shows around the city. Here are a few New York Times critics' picks. Times and prices vary. The theater director Aaron Arbus joins Randy Cohen's Person Place Thing show to discuss The Winter's Tale, at Polanski Shakespeare Center in Fort Greene, Brooklyn. 7:30 p.m. $15 Monday Night Magic at the Players Theatre in Greenwich Village. 8 p.m. $42.50 a Mardi Gras Monday Party, followed by a Fat Tuesday celebration, at Brooklyn Bowl in Williamsburg. 8 p.m. $15 Looking ahead, on Wednesday, the Bond Street Utopian Singing Society performs Love in the Parlors, a Valentine's Day concert of Schubert, Brahms, and others, at the Merchants House Museum in Nohonix at 76ers, 7 p.m. Message. Nets host Clippers, 7:30 p.m. Yes. Alternate side parking is suspended for more events. See the New York Times's Arts and Entertainment Guide. On this day in 1931, the public was introduced to the strangest passion the world has ever known. That, according to an ad in the Times, was the passion of Dracula for blood. The horror film, based on the novel by Bram Stoker, premiered February 12 at the Roxy Theater on 50th Street, a venue nicknamed the Cathedral of Motion Picture and considered at the time the finest cinema in New York City. The ad, along with the Times review of the film, underscores that it's a talking film than a novel concept. Silent films transitioned to talkies with speaking, singing and dancing in the late 1920s. The movie and its sharp-toothed protagonist, now thought to be more comical than scary, were described as blood-curdling, evil and eerie. Fog, a highly technical special effect at the time, made it all the more spooky. New York Today is a morning roundup that is published weekdays at 6 a.m. If you don't get it in your inbox already, you can sign up to receive it by email here. For updates throughout the day, like us on Facebook. What would you like to see here to start your day? Post a comment, email us at newyorktoday@newyorktimes.com, or reach us via Twitter using hashtag NYToday. Follow the New York Today columnists, Alexandra Levine and Jonathan Wolfe, on Twitter. You can find the latest New York Today at newyorktoday.com.